You know who made it.
Live from LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and X. It's Revening's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday, Revenue Party people. We've got hot topics, hot prizes, and even hotter guests that we'll be getting into here in just a moment. Yeah, Facebook totally aired out. Sorry, there's 3 pages on Facebook and none of them are working. Out of my control at this point. Hop on over to YouTube or LinkedIn. How's LinkedIn doing tonight? I see Tom Slocum on LinkedIn commenting okay, and Aaron and Topher. But we've got a lot to get into, so I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it so we can welcome on tonight's guests. We have some really awesome guests. We've already had some great conversation in the background on the pre-show, so just stay tuned because we're going to get very human tonight. So as always, I have the tip jar. Love seeing your tips roll in. Thank you, everyone. As promised, I'll continue to show this every week. And if you want to get a free Latote, I'm not wearing anything from Latote this week. I've sent my box back in. But I usually do like the pink suit in the picture and a lot of the clothes I wear, like the fur coats and stuff. Those are all from Latote, which is a subscription that curates clothes based on style and size preference. It's only for women. So any of the ladies in the house, you can also, sort it based on like business casual or like resort wear or going out. And then you don't have to pay for the clothes if you don't keep them, but you can wear them and then send them back. So I love Latote. Scan this QR code to get a free box and try it out. And I also use StreamYard to go live. So scan this code if you want to try it out as well and join my coaching program, and I'll show you how to use it. But would love for you to just use my affiliate link if you, are going to get started. Like, definitely use StreamYard. It is a preferred LinkedIn vendor. Unfortunately, you need a third party to go live on LinkedIn, and StreamYard is one of their preferred ones. And I haven't had any issues with them since I started. Cherry Assistant. I love Cherry Assistant. For one, DJ Kim is amazing. If you haven't met him, you absolutely need to. You'll see him at intermission, but scan this QR code if you're looking for a virtual assistant, because they've done some really great work with how to align you with a virtual assistant based on what you need. So big shout out to DJ Kim and what they're working on over at Cherry Assistant. Also at Open Draft, which you'll hear about here in just a moment. But you can come back, pause it here, and go check out Cherry Assistant and see about having a VA. And HighLevel. You saw the link on the intro video, so go highlevel.com/Jessie-Lizak. We'll give you my affiliate link there, or you scan the QR code. But try it for 30 days. If you try my link, you'll get 30 days rather than 14 free. You can join my coaching program. I'll show you how to use it. Come to my 5-day challenge. I have that going on starting the 16th. It's only $17, going up to $50 tomorrow. But it starts Tuesday. I would love to have you there. We already have a community totally jiving, getting ready for this 5-day challenge. But you can scan the code here, even if you're in the challenge already and you've signed up. Go HighLevel, and you can schedule your posts on it. So we'll be scheduling posts during the challenge, and you can use HighLevel for free for 30 days at least. And the newsletter, I sent it out today. I did an ABCDE test, and the test that won, of course, had gurus in the name. So y'all want to hear us spill the beans from the gurus tonight. So that was the winning subject line, but I'm always doing different tests with the newsletter. Would love to have you subscribe. So please go to revenue.com. You'll get a pop-up asking you to subscribe. And always doing sponsorships. So revening.com/sponsorships. We've got monthly and annual sponsorships available for the show. Would love to have you check that out. But some people were asking me, like, what all do you do? And they were like, oh, I didn't know you had a podcast service, or, oh, I didn't know you did live stream services. So I'll keep showing this throughout the show, but we're doing more than just WinsDay and coaching. There's also the whole marketing service side and helping brands go live themselves and repurpose that into podcasts and different clips. So it's a really great way to get a lot of content. Reduce, reuse, recycle, y'all. I'm a lazy marketer and I love revenue. So let's make this happen. And also, we've got prizes. So I'll show this throughout the night. These are the keywords that you want to start putting into the comments to enter to win. And you saw the topics. I'm not going to spend much time on this because I want to get these guests in here. But I want to make sure I get through everything. We'll be showing this tonight. These are all our prizes. But before I show you all the prizes one more time, revening.com/coaching will take you to the taking up space pricing. So I have two packages. One is $1,000 for 3 months. One is $2,500 for 3 months. That comes with the private coaching. If you do the 5-day challenge, secret, wasn't going to tell you this, but if you do the 5-day challenge, I am offering 50% off on the Taking Up Space program, because you're already going to be all set up. You're going to be like way ahead of everybody if you do the 5-day challenge. So let's get into prizes. So prize one is missing. I don't know where the prizes went. So I'll have to ask Renee to pull that up. But for prize one tonight, we do have, let me just pull this up. We do have the HighLevel swag pack. You'll get a t-shirt, this awesome hat, HighLevel. I am so excited. Like, I have never had a better experience with a brand. They treat me like a freaking queen. So thank you, HighLevel, for supporting me the way you have. But the reason I'm working with HighLevel is because they're one of the first tools I started using. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to stay in business. I can't afford big SaaS tools. And HighLevel is my CRM. It's my website. It's my coaching program. It's my course. I do everything in there. And now I'm teaching others to do the same. So thank you, HighLevel, for supporting tonight. Get a swag pack from HighLevel by tagging HighLevel. In the comments, tag Cherry Assistant. You'll get 10 hours virtual assistant service if you win that prize. And then we've got Open Draft. That is the former Kiwi writer. Now Open Draft, 10 free blogs. So definitely check that out. It's an AI tool. As a marketer, I endorse it. It is very SEO friendly. Tag Headset Advisor to enter to win a wireless headset. Yes, just starting 2024, we're now doing wireless headsets. So definitely enter to win headsets. And for lavender, only enter if you do not have lavender. But you're going to want to put, I hope you are well because, fill in the blank to enter to win there. Taking Up Space is my 5-day challenge. And hashtag B2B is going to be from the guests, but I'm going to let them tell you all about the prizes they're going to give out. But I can show them right here. You can see it's 1 year free license, salesreach.io. And we've got 1 year free Poseidon subscription, Poseidon branded Nike shoes. So definitely want to show you that picture because I do see that one here. So check out those shoes, y'all. Okay. But I'm going to get these guests in here and we're going to have some great topics tonight. So Aaron and Josh, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Amazing. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
I feel like I didn't come prepared enough. I will give away my personal pair of shoes as well. I don't have any brand new ones, but I'm happy. I've got some really swank Adidas, red, white, and blue. No, I'm kidding. I'm not giving those away. Sorry, Nate. Nate was like, B2B, B2B, B2B. No, I'm sorry. Not my shoes. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm already so dead. And with that, please start tagging and entering for these prizes. And let's get off with some intros. I'll put up the 2 minutes. Aaron, could we start off with you? Could you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and, you know, how you came to be where you are today?
Yeah, 2 minutes is pretty short, but I'll try and get through it all. I'm really privileged to be in SaaS sales. I have a completely non-traditional background from being actually a pre-med bio student to not applying to medical school to working in the construction space in sales and to now be in my role today for GTM and customer success at Poseidon. I honestly believe so many people have transferable skills, and a lot of those are going to be applicable to sales. And so, for a lot of the people that are listening today, that we're going to talk a lot about sales, how to do well in sales, what works, what doesn't work. Just know that if you want to break into it, there's always a pathway to do it. And I'm happy to help anyone realize that if that's a dream for you. In terms of Poseidon, I mean, I've loved my time there. It's been a year and a half now, and I have never been in a SaaS startup. I've been around startups in smaller boutique consulting businesses. I've had my own hand at trying to start a couple of consulting services. But to be in a tech startup, working with product, working with an engineering team, and then being on the really just on the forefront of working with customers to buy into something that you've been part of building has been just a complete dream for me. I've learned a ton. Our founder, who is in the audience tonight, Osh, has been a great mentor for me. And so I've just been really excited. In terms of my personal life and who I am actually calling in from South Texas. I was born in South Texas. I was joking today earlier on a call that there's literally a school called Texas Southmost because there's not a college further south in the United States than there. So that's where I'm at, right on the border with Mexico. I'm married to a beautiful Mexican woman. Her name is Barreiro. We've been married for 6 years. And I mean, I'll get into some different things. I'm a very empathetic person. We're going to talk about empathy in the video in a little bit. But I love people. I love what I do because I get to interact with incredible people every day. So thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. And can you say your wife's name again? Because that was really beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say, add that to the list of things I can't say, but yeah, that was beautiful.
Rosanelli Barreiro.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
And before we get into empathy and some of the things you mentioned, Aaron, Josh, I'm going to put the 2 minutes back on the clock. I'll start it back over. Could you please do the same and give us an intro?
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were going to leave the clock going and just, make me be even shorter, which would probably be a good idea, honestly, because the longer I talk, the more trouble I seem to get into. But hey, I'm honored to be on this show. I'm not even kidding. This is a bucket list item for me. I tried to get on this show for months, and then it was one of my LinkedIn connections was like, you should be on the show. And I'm like, yeah, I've tried. She doesn't want me. And she's like, well, hold on. I know her. I'll get you on. And she did. And whatever, what can you do? So here I am. My name's Josh Fedie. Listen, I've been in sales for 25 years of my life now. I started more on the creative services side in marketing. I love marketing. I love sales. I love the combination of the two. And I loved the combination of the two before it was trendy. And now it's not just trendy. Now it's kind of a prerequisite, right? You need to know how to market yourself to get anywhere in sales because nobody's answering our emails anymore. We need to prompt them to reach out to us. The platform that I built right now kind of came from a mix of everything in my life. I used to be in music. I did a lot of music recording and engineering. So I kind of started to get into audio equipment. Then I started to dabble in photography and videography. So I started to play with those tools. And then while I was in sales, I started to bring those things into my sales role to kind of help increase the win rates. And that's when I realized there was a gap in the market and there needed to be a product for people to utilize asset distribution, video creation, really narrate the sales process, kind of button it up, putting it in one swank little place for everybody to get all the information they need through a sales cycle. And that's what Sales Reach is. So if you scan this QR code, if it works, we tested it earlier, it's hard with the glare, but if you scan that QR code, it'll bring you to a page where you can learn all about Sales Reach. If you scan the code that's up on the screen now, that'll also bring you there. You can learn a whole bunch about the platform there. And if you want to meet with me and have a demo, you can book it right off the page too.
That is so cool. It's a custom page. It even says WinsDay on it. How cool is that? Definitely scan his code. That's his QR code, not mine. Yes.
Yeah.
WinsDay.
Get yourself one of these whiteboards, people. Come on, get a whiteboard. Yeah.
Whiteboard. And I had no idea you were trying to get on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Listen, I felt a little burned at first, but it was fine. Don't worry about it. Now we're here and now we're friends, Jessie. It's all good. Here.
Yeah. All right.
Even better that you brought Aaron with,
Yes. I'm so excited to hear from Aaron. So let's get right into this. The first topic, empathy in action. So I know we all have a lot to say about this one, but Josh, can you kick us off on empathy in action, facilitating customer-centric experiences with video sales?
Sure, sure. So here's what I would say. When video sales first started to be a thing, really all you found in the market were video only platforms, right? I don't know if I need to name them, but people use tools like Loom and Vidyard and all kinds of tools to just send just a video to somebody. Personally, I just didn't find that to be as helpful as it could be because it was yet another thing in a whole slew of things that we were sending people, right? So it was a very disjointed sales process. But what I did notice from my use in video, I was a very early adopter, was the fact that video is so great for one reason. There are definitely people that prefer to learn by watching, and there's people that prefer to learn by just reading and digesting information. And the beauty of video, especially if you combine it with other options, really just appeals to everybody. So video helps you to, number one, really just explain yourself and where you're at in the deal and introduce yourself to decision makers you haven't met yet in a very human way. And number two, the reason I love it is because you really can't misinterpret a video, right? You can misinterpret text all the time in emails. You might not see the excitement that somebody has, or you might not understand the sarcasm. I'm a very sarcastic person. And many times people don't understand my sarcasm in a written form, but in a video, they always get it. And so it's a great way to just help bring people through the journey. I think the main thing too, though, is just from an empathy standpoint, people want to buy from people. They want to feel heard. They want to feel seen. And video does a great job of doing all of those things for your customers and really just helps you to what I call narrate the sales process for them.
That's really great. And I'm glad that you brought that up because, people buy from people, not brands, right? And humans are imperfect, and there's a lot of human things that humans go through. We need to eat, there's certain needs, but also just connecting with people on a deeper emotional thing level. Like people are going through a lot of hard times, like just knowing like what vibe and what tone to bring to that video so that you actually can be empathetic. Because the type of video you might send to someone in one part of the world might be different than someone in another part of the world, or someone going through one sort of thing, maybe different than someone else. So like, I'd love to hear from you on this a little bit, Aaron. So like, you and I were talking a little bit about empathy and being human earlier and connecting with people. Can you kick us off a little bit on like empathy in action as you see it?
Yeah. I talked about being sort of non-traditional in my role to getting into sales. I actually started doing motivational speaking when I was 20 years old. One of the things I learned really early on was the more we're willing to be transparent with our lives for the things that we go through, the more other people are willing to step up and be transparent themselves. But it's not really just about communicating, being transparent. It's about what that means to taking action to improve your life, right? And I think that's really what's behind being an empathetic person is being able to connect with people. And so I like to talk a lot about mental health. Today is January 10th, and 4 days ago was the 1-year anniversary that my family lost my youngest sister to suicide. And in the world we live in today, that's super driven by performance, super driven by how can I do everything I can to perform well in my role. Sometimes we forget that people are people, and people want to buy from, like Josh said, people that you can trust, people that you enjoy being around, people that you believe have your best interests at heart. And so I think when we think about empathy, for me, that's the biggest thing, is how can I be someone that no matter what I do, no matter what how Poseidon represents ourselves as a company or with our platform or what we're trying to accomplish, at the end of the day, people know, hey, you can trust me. I have your best interests at heart, and I want to do the best for you. And I think, tying that into what you were talking about, Josh, in terms of video, that's a powerful way to do it, that people are just afraid to do it. They don't like being in front of camera. They're not comfortable with it, and they don't know how to step out because we tend to think about ourselves a lot when we get on video, and it's not about ourselves, right? It's about how can I leverage video to represent your issues, your struggles, the pain points that you're going through in a way that makes sense, and communicating it through a different format that most people today aren't used to. So yeah, I think it's so important to learn how we can just be ourselves more.
Can I jump right back in, Jesse, on this one? Because what I want to remind everybody, I think that the hard thing, and number one, Aaron, like laying it out there, like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say other than, you know, I feel for you, man. And like, sorry. And my condolences. And, but outside of that, empathy in video, in sales, what we really need to understand as sales professionals, and one thing that so few take the time to really sit back and understand, is what the person on the other side is actually going through in their business life, outside of just their personal life, what they're going through in their business life. And video, I think too many people will send a singular video in their cold outreach, for example. Hey, Aaron, would love to meet with you. My name's Josh. Here's all the tchotchkes. I'm super funny. We should definitely meet. And then they're like, yeah, I use video in my sales, and that's what they do. But there's so many better ways to use video further into the sales process. If we're truly being empathetic and we understand that the person on the receiving end has a really tough job ahead of them, they're going to have to go and advocate for you to up to 13 more people. The average review team right now is 14 people. That's insane, right? So the person you're talking to is going to have to vouch for you to 13 people. Those 13 people are going to look at them and go, hey, Jesse, listen, all right, it's your neck on the line. You think Josh is the person we should be working with on this one? Yeah, absolutely. Well, why do you think Josh is the one we should be working on, right? Well, maybe I should be using video further, because maybe I can be creating more and more and more videos, not just for the main point of contact I have, for all the decision makers, to let them know, I understand that there's some challenges here. I understand there's some things that you're unsure about. I understand there's some things you needed me to dive deeper on. Let me walk you through that. Let me do a screen share. Let me take you through this. Let me make sure that you are 100% comfortable with everything that is happening here before you sign on the dotted line. Now, we can send a whole bunch of PDFs and documents and hope that they extract what they need to from it. Or we can take a little extra time, and that's the part most people just don't want to do. But we can take a little extra time, we can be a little bit more human, and we can be more dedicated and deliberate in our approach. When people understand things, when they feel like you care and they feel like you value their time, that's when they feel so much more invested in the relationship with you. And video can help you do that tremendously.
100%. And they see you and they feel you as a human. And Aaron, I just want to say, thank you for sharing your vulnerability, because vulnerabilities are one of those things that make us human, and whether we're in our professional hat or personal hat, we're all really holistically one human being. And so it is, we got to think about these things when we're approaching people with video and with phone calls, that we're approaching them as humans and not robots. But this is a really great topic. I would love to hear what the audience has to say. So both guests had a lot to unpack here with empathy in action and facilitating customer-centric experiences with video. But now let's get into inbound versus outbound. Hello. Okay, so striking the perfect balance in B2B strategies. I'm a big fan of inbound, and I'm not going to lie, this week, maybe it's been a little bit more than a week ago, I started getting my very first inbound that just paid without ever talking to me. And I'm like, yes, so they came, strike, cha-ching, and I'm like, thank you. So I feel like I've, figured out inbound once again. I'm a marketer, so I'm always trying to find out the inbound thing and avoid those sales calls. But inbound versus outbound, how do we find that real perfect balance? So I'm going to pass this one over to you, Aaron.
Definitely. I know last Wednesday, you guys were also talking a lot about inbound versus outbound. And I know Eric and Saad were really talking about how trying to leverage inbound to outbound is something that, we should be considering more. And I think that was really spot on. I love how they were both aligned on that. If Saad, you're listening, that's a intentional pun to your where you're working. But I think pivoting the conversation to finding balance. There's so many things that we need to think about when we really consider a B2B strategy that focuses on both inbound and outbound. And I imagine a lot of people that are listening, if you're a rep, if you're a full cycle person, the biggest reason why outbound is still really valuable and why we shouldn't just be relying on inbound is because you have control over what you do in the outbound piece, right? If it's through video, if it's through calls, if it's through LinkedIn, you can really leverage your empathy, like we've been talking about, to create a system that's in your control. One of the things that I've seen so many times talking to people that don't like doing outbound is they receive these lists from their marketing team, and it's thousands upon thousands of leads that they have no idea if they're qualified. And the issue with that is you have no control. And if you're not invested in how you're reaching out to people, then a lot of times your efforts aren't going to be very fruitful. And a lot of the ROI on those lists is just going to be really low. When we leverage outbound effectively, and this is something that we do on our platform at Poseidon, we're really thinking about, okay, how can I do a lot of outbound while also actually doing the opposite of what Eric and Saad were talking about, leveraging outbound to then drive inbound for me as a rep. This is not the guru that I'll be shouting out, but I love Brandon Fluharty. Talks a lot about how when you're in sales, you should treat your pipeline like your own business. And so this idea of inbound, outbound, and balancing it, I think works really well with that mindset. Because if you're a full cycle person and you're doing a lot of outreach, there are a lot of ways that you can really be creative in leveraging outbound messaging to then bring people in to your personal funnel, especially if you use LinkedIn a lot. There's a lot of ways to be really creative with that. And so I think when we think about it and how do we find that balance, the key is really having great communication with marketing and sales. And I think we're moving towards that. But I'd love to hear your guys' opinions.
Absolutely. Jump in there, Josh.
I mean, we're in a very, very, very strange space right now. I'll just start by saying that with all this inbound and outbound. So, I mean, I'm a big HubSpot fan. I've always been a big HubSpot fanboy and supporter. It was, when I launched my company, the first thing I did was I talked to my tech team and I'm like, we're going to integrate with HubSpot. We have to integrate with HubSpot, right? Like it was the most important thing to me at the time.
HighLevel.
I understand. There's all kinds of CRMs. There's all kinds of, I get it. There's a bunch. I'm just saying me personally. Right. And so there's a lot of the inbound and outbound. There's a lot of the inbound and outbound conversations happening right now. And I think that where there's the challenge right now is that in sales, the people that we're sending messages to, whether it's us as sales professionals or our marketing team with their automations, those messages right now, no matter how perfect they are, many times the first reaction is just like, get this out of my inbox. This is an intrusion. Which is so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. But it really is. If you watch the chatter on LinkedIn, this is all people talk about. I don't want to see these messages. I don't want to see these messages. I don't want to see these. And when you're actually being deliberate in the messaging that you're sending out to people, when you're actually identifying who is my ideal buyer, right? Who can I actually help the most? Why am I sending this? Is this relevant? Is this going to actually help them? When you actually take the time and it's like, no, I'm not spamming 1,000 people a day. I'm actually sending out to 20 specific people, like very tailored every single day. And that's still their reaction. It really, really hurts. But that's the reality of where we're at today, right? I think that right now, the best thing that businesses can do is to enable their employees to be thought leaders and content creators and to really support them in doing that. That's what I've believed for the last 4 years now. I've been preaching it from the rooftops. Businesses need to invest in creating content producers in their organization. Before COVID hit, what I was saying on the soapbox was that I wanted every business to create a content production studio in their business so that employees could just walk into that room throughout the day and produce content, have it all set up and ready to go. Because listen, salespeople don't know how to adjust the cameras properly. They don't always know how to resize a logo properly. They don't always know how to do all those things, right? They don't always. Now more of them do. But 5-10 years ago, they didn't. Okay. But then COVID hit and they were like, what do you mean office? So now people are at home and it's like, okay, well, how do you get people to do this? Well, we need to incentivize them, and we need to really, beyond even incentivize them, make them known that it's okay, right? And it starts from the top. The CEO needs to start making content as well. If the CEO of the business makes content, then every employee is going to go, well, if that person's doing it, then I sure can do it too, because if that's the talk track that this business supports and that's the talk track that I want to make, then I can do it as well, right? So that's a great way. Yeah, that's my favorite way to build business right now, is create content, bring value first, lead with value. People will find you. Over 70% of the buyer's journey is done before they ever talk to a salesperson. What are they finding on that journey when they're not talking to you that is going to cause them to make you one of the vendors that they actually reach out to, right? Because I guarantee you right now, if somebody's Googling digital sales rooms, they're going to find 15 different companies right now. Sales Reach might be one of the ones that they come up with, but then they're going to jump over to LinkedIn and they're going to see what's happening on LinkedIn. If they come across my videos versus another company's videos, are my videos going to resonate more with them? Is that how they're going to reach out? Probably. That's how it works, right? That's how you get into that pool. Neither one of them can survive without the other one. You have to have inbound and outbound. You have to. But what we have to do is make sure that no matter what we're doing on either of those, that it's as human as possible, right? We just have to keep it that way. And we always have to lead with value. We cannot make people jump through hoops any longer to get to the good and important stuff that they actually need from us to make a decision. We have to equip them with the important things that they need, no matter which direction it's coming to them from, whether it's inbound or outbound.
Yeah, I would love to hear what the audience thinks on that. But yeah, take it away, Aaron.
Well, and it's such an interesting thing because we tend to look at the world, especially those that are on LinkedIn, with LinkedIn glasses of just seeing really successful companies that are building brand. And I'm 100% with you. I think building a brand is so critical, but there's just a lot of companies that are not bought in still. Unfortunately, 2024, and for whatever reason, social has taken over the world, and there are still dinosaurs that just don't want to really build, lean in on that. So I think that's where the balance comes in, because if you're not willing, in relationships, sometimes you talk about how you can't have everything, right? And people want to have inbound without being willing to do the work to get the inbound. Right? Whether it's building that brand, investing in it through empowering people to create content, the CEO leading the way. You can't have everything. And if you're not willing to put in that work, you're not going to get the inbound, because traditional marketing in the way it used to work is just not. You hear people talking a lot about how ads are not as successful as they used to be. I mean, things are changing dramatically. And so I think Topher wrote it in the comments, outbound leads to inbound, or it makes it possible. And that's so true. Like, marrying those two things and being open to it is so important. And I think what's really interesting about the conversation we're having is we kind of are stepping back a little bit and looking at the whole sales cycle. What I really love what you said a little while ago was thinking about your champion and how that champion has to talk to 14 people. And so if you can find ways to both generate content that speaks to who you are, and at the same time multi-thread and reach out to CEOs and VPs, you're just creating this system that's going to allow you to be a lot more successful.
And yeah, you guys are both unpacking a lot here. I could add on like what marketing can be doing with all of this as well, right? Like we could be taking that and running ads against that same list of people, a couple different things, and building your personal brands. I completely agree with both of you. And if anyone needs help with that, that is what we do here at Revenue, is coaching and services for your LinkedIn. So I've put that up on the screen here, but make sure that you're entering to win these prizes, y'all, because we've got a headset to give away. We've got HighLevel. We've got virtual assistant service. We also have a few more really great topics. We talk about inbound and outbound. To me, these days with inbound, as a marketer, I will say this. In 2017, I wouldn't have said this. All inbound now, the best way to get inbound is through LinkedIn, through organic
Yes.
LinkedIn
Yes.
and building a personal brand. That's why, in addition to the LinkedIn services, so that's what Revenue wants to do. We want to help you build a personal brand, and you can do that through LinkedIn, but it's so great to supplement that with video, either live streaming or, like what they were talking about, and even doing the sales approach they were talking about with sales having, what did Topher say? You got to have outbound to do the inbound. I completely agree 100% because it takes at least 6 months, definitely more, to build a brand. So it's really great when you have a strong salesperson who can be a shark and go out there and make phone calls, send out videos, whatever they're doing the one-to-one sales work while marketing's building the brand. So I couldn't help but share all of that, but I do need to get into really quick a few quick messages before we get into revolutionizing buyer enablement, harnessing the power of video in sales. We'll be right back with that topic right after these messages.
If you have a business or a side project, you need a virtual assistant. If you want free time or fun time, you need a virtual assistant. Virtual assistants can do everything from answering emails, managing your calendar, or even calling your mom. I run my own agency, I have e-commerce stores, and I still have time to travel, hang out with friends and family, and even pick up new hobbies because my virtual assistants take up my day-to-day work. If you're interested in trying out virtual assistant, play our game with Whiskey Wednesdays and enter the prize to see if you win 10 hours with one of our best virtual assistants. Thanks, Whiskey Wednesdays, for having us.
Hi, I'm Jessie Lizak, founder of Revenue and host of WinsDay. Okay, and so I actually coach on HighLevel in my Taking Up Space program. If you visit my website now, let me do a refresh. I just added it on Go HighLevel because my website is built on HighLevel. I put this little thing on the footer, so if you want to sign up for HighLevel at any time, just go to revenue.com, click this button here, and you'll get access to the 30-day free trial that they're allowing me to offer special to people in my audience, the WinsDay audience. I use it for everything with Revenue, so I can get other people their own company account as well, and my price doesn't go up when I do that, so my customers can use it for themselves. You've got social planners, so you can schedule your posts. You can build a course in here. We've got the membership tab. We can do marketing email. I just sent the newsletter today, so I can view the stats, for example, from my email. So much you can do with HighLevel. This is just a little bit. I think I already mentioned I built my website on here. You can have your blog built on here. And I look forward to continuing to show you more, but you can also try it yourself. So again, go to revenue.com and you'll see the button at the bottom of the website to try it out. So thank you so much. Big thanks to HighLevel. And I hope that you enter to win the swag. And when you win these prizes, I hope that you'll make a post about it too. Thanks, everyone.
Want to build a website but don't know where to start? Visit brittanyhoncomp.com and watch my free Build Your Site Right video. Follow my step-by-step instructions to build your business's website on a solid foundation that can scale as you grow.
Awesome. Big thanks to our sponsors. And let's get back into this awesome conversation because revolutionizing buyer enablement. And it's funny talking about enablement because I noticed with my LinkedIn program, I was getting a lot of enablement people in sales enablement signing up for the LinkedIn program. And so I think it's really awesome that you want to talk about and kick us off here. I believe this one was yours, Josh, revolutionizing buyer enablement, harnessing the power of video in sales. Josh, can you kick us off on this one?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. My favorite thing about buyer enablement is if you were to look back maybe only like 3-4 years in the Google sphere, you wouldn't even see that term, right? When I was building my product, we didn't really know what it was and what category it would fall in or any of that stuff. But there was a Gartner article that came out. And the Gartner article said that the number one challenge facing buyers today is buyer confusion. And what we need to focus on is buyer enablement. That was the first time I ever saw that term. It was about 5-6 years ago. And immediately I grabbed onto it. And once, before COVID hit, it still didn't really go anywhere. Once COVID hit though, that term went through the roof. So now there are more and more companies and people focusing not just on enabling the sales team, but enabling their buyers. That's what buyer enablement is. So let's talk about that first, okay? But then within enabling your buyers, bringing in the video into the sales, I've kind of talked about this already, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. But the video portion of buyer enablement is critically important. This is really where, like I said before, you can narrate the sales process and walk people through what you're doing with them, what the next steps are going to be to make sure that everybody fully understands the situation, because people won't move forward until they're comfortable. That's what video helps them do. So I don't want to go too much further just now. I'm going to pass it back to you guys. I'll jump back in because I don't want to repeat myself too much on this one.
Absolutely. And so were you going to say something, Aaron? Because absolutely take it away.
Yeah, well, I think you're getting at removing friction, right? When we're talking about buyer enablement, we are beginning to understand that the customer journey is not one day you meet them, you say hi, say bye, send a proposal, and you're getting, business done in a week, right? Sales cycles, especially for high ACV companies, these are things that are going to be taking 4 months, 6 months, sometimes a year. One of our customers in the manufacturing space, they're working on, 6-figure, 7-figure contracts that are going to take 8 to 12 months. And so really understanding that we have a responsibility in enabling the buying motion by supporting our champions, by supporting, every step of the way. We're removing as much friction as possible, which is super important. So I think if I'm hearing you right, that's kind of a little bit of what you're talking about, Josh.
Absolutely. There's so many different types of video that you can utilize throughout your sales process. Number one, how many times are we on a Zoom call with somebody or a Google Meet or whatever video streaming service it is? Okay. Record those. Why do you record those? Because someone might need to watch it again. Because how many times have we had a meeting where someone says, oh man, I wish John was on this one. Well, you know what? John can just watch this whenever John wants to watch this because I recorded it. I'm going to send it out to you. However, I'm going to send it to you when it's done. They can watch it. Well, at 2x speed, you're going to sound like a chipmunk, but John's going to get the gist of it, right? No, so that's one way that we're using video. There's the synchronous and asynchronous, right? There's two different types of video that we're using in our sales process, but we should listen. I've always said this. I don't do anything unless it's being recorded. Everything needs to be recorded. I think sometimes we forget to record just the sales meetings we're having too, but somebody wasn't in that meeting and they are going to find value from it. Okay. So that's one of the ways that we should always be using video. Record everything you do, reshare it with the people that you're talking to. Those people are going to reshare it with other people that should have been in the meeting that they didn't realize should be in the meeting until they had the meeting. And now they're going, well, can we have another meeting? And you're going, no, I don't want to spend 2 more hours just to land this deal. Just have them watch the video and then we're going to move forward. We're all going to be fine. Right. And then we can regroup for 15 minutes. The other way that I love to use video though, outside of cold outreach, outside of LinkedIn connection requests, outside of first meeting follow-ups, outside of congratulations, you signed the deal, outside of all of that, is sending personal thank you messages to people that are on this is one of my secret weapons. Don't tell too many people about this, okay? I don't want to lose any deals to anybody that's stealing my tricks here. But how many times are you in the middle of a meeting and at the very beginning, the CEO or the VP of marketing or the CRO joins the meeting. And the first thing they always say, because they're very important, is, I don't have time to be here for the whole meeting. I wish I could be, but I'm going to be here for about 5 minutes. And then they scram. The first thing I do when I get done with the meeting is I record a personal video to those people, right? Hey, thanks for popping in. I've been working with your team now for the last 6 months. They're incredible people. You have hired some very talented people. It's going to be amazing to finally move this deal forward. I can't wait to work with you. And I know when that happens, I'll be able to meet you more. I cannot wait to learn from you. Now, you were talking earlier about how people don't like to send videos. That's a really hard video for people to make right there, right? You're making a video for the person at the top and you're humbling yourself when you do it. and you're thanking them and all the things, right? All the things. I'm telling you right now, if you incorporate that video strategy into your video strategy, right, it's going to do wonders for you. Trust me.
Oh, that's a really great tip. So
Don't steal it.
If you could give one, what's your hottest video tip?
Oh man. Okay. Well, no, I got a couple. Okay. So my first one, I don't want to be too advertorial. This, I think, would work outside of my platform as well, because many video systems, when you deliver the video through email, it'll generate a 3-second animated GIF in the email. So it's not just mine that does that. But with mine, what I do is I have multiple whiteboards at my desk, and I'll write different messages on them, and I'll edit out in between changing the sign. So in the 3-second animated GIF that shows up in the email, there's a full message playing in front of people. That prompts a much higher reply rate on my emails. That's probably my number one trick. Don't tell anyone though.
Okay, so I'm an inbound person, right? I'm a marketer. And Topher, I know you're in the audience. He gave me a lot of shit for this one time, but my secret is to gate your sales call with a video. And for me, I'm all about filtering out as many sales calls as I can, because I really don't need to spend my time having conversations with people who aren't going to ultimately buy. And so if you want to get on a sales call with me, I try to build out my automation so that when you sign up, the first thing is if you want to, first thing to do in order to get this call is to watch this 3-minute video. And that's me giving you my whole offer.
Yeah.
If you don't like something there, then, it doesn't make sense for us to book, because I'm also literally producing and doing work and doing sales. So if it's not going to work out, it's not worth it for me to do that. But I remember them being like, you can't gate your calls. And I'm like, totally am. You can't come to a call with me unless you watch this video, just kidding. I won't drop that word, but
I love it. I'm already seeing people screaming, stop gating, stop gating. That word has such a negative connotation. I do something similar with video though. That's really fun. So my favorite thing to do is, so I shared that page with everybody with the QR code. So I don't know how many people looked at it at this point, but that page at any time, I can turn that page off. Okay. So I build pages just like that in my sales process when I'm working with somebody. And that's where I give them all the information that they need from me throughout the conversation. But if for some reason they start ghosting me, not responding to me, they make me angry for some reason, I don't want to give them access to this stuff, then I turn the page off and I have a fallback page that comes up by default that basically says, where the heck did you go? And they no longer have access to any of the stuff that I was giving them before, unless they book a meeting with me and ask for it. And that's what the video says. So I do practice gating using video like you, similar way, but they don't have to enter an email to get it. But they have to actually reach out to me to get it.
Well, there's a difference between gating and disqualifying.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about empathy, respecting people's time in today's world when there is no time. If you can disqualify yourself, or if you can disqualify someone else from taking up a 30-minute meeting or whatever it's going to be, that sometimes is just caring. So I don't think it's that bad.
I have 2 kids and my husband travels. He's a territory salesperson. So I don't have a lot of time running my own business and doing all that. So really appreciate you watching that 3-minute video. Anyone who's ever booked a demo with me. And yes, when I first started, it was 10 minutes and I got a lot of crap for that. So I made it shorter.
10 minutes is acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then you at least know what my full offer
You
is.
learn.
Anyway, I digress. I won't talk about my 10-minute gated video anymore. Let's get into this 4th topic. The power of listening. So elevating sales through effective documentation. So can you kick us off on this one, Aaron? I mean, wow, listening is so hard. So many people struggle with it.
Yeah. So in case it hasn't been clear to this point, Poseidon's an outbound platform, right? So we really focus on how can we improve the experience for people doing outbound. And we've done a lot of work of talking to full cycle sellers, talking to reps to understand what their user experience is like. And when we think about this common thread that we've been talking about all night of empathy, the best outbound is when you are relevant and personalized, right? And to do that, you have to be someone that pays attention. And getting to the idea of listening, if you know how to do good outbound, you should be able to be a good listener on discovery calls, on sales calls. And if you can't, if you don't pay attention, if you don't care, then yeah, it's something that's not going to matter. For me, a long time ago, I always used to joke I couldn't sell candy bars when I was in middle school for school fundraisers and things like that, because I just didn't know what my strengths were in sales. And today, listening is one of the best strengths that I bring to the table. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually identify more as an introvert as opposed to an extrovert. And the reason is because when I do get into a place where I have to be social, I've learned how to sort of turn that on. But at the end of the day, I'm an introvert, and the one of the biggest superpowers of introverts is listening. How can I understand the things that you are going through? Pain points is something that at this point is a cliche in sales. Everyone knows that you need to look for pain points, but sometimes the people that are buying don't even know how to express what their pain points are. And if you're a good listener, if you care, if you pay attention, then what you're going to be able to do is really bring out more of what people truly are struggling with, what their gaps are. And then the part of documentation, which is at the end of that, is it's not exciting, it's not sexy, but you have to document it, because if you don't document, it gets lost in the sauce. And somebody along the way, if you're handing things off to an AE, if you ended up signing a new client and the CS team needs to start working with this customer, without the documentation, you're losing a lot of quality time that was invested. So the documentation is key, because it's going to really create a better experience for the buyer, every aspect of the customer journey. And with us being at Poseidon, we're a bootstrap company. I wear a bunch of hats. I understand just how important it is, once we start doing CS work, how invested you have to be in your customers. One of the things that we do really well at Poseidon is we say we're platform plus team. A lot of platforms, they are happy with you signing the contract, get it on an annual, check out, never make sure that you use the tool. For us, a big part of our advantage is we invest in our relationship with you. We want to make sure you're successful. And so we put in a lot of work to make sure we're documenting every step of the way, so that anyone that's on a customer success call, they're empowered to make sure that the people that we're working with love their experience.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
Mhm.
I'm really glad that you shared that. And, I guess before I share my perspective on the power of listening, Josh, is there anything that you might want to add?
I would just say, just to go a little further on one of the important pieces. I mean, there was good stuff there, but one of the important pieces there is, if you're documenting things properly, I talk about buyer's remorse a lot in sales, okay? Because I think that buyer's remorse is the most basic human feeling whenever we purchase anything. I really do. I honestly believe that. I've never bought anything in my life that I was like happy from the second I bought it for forever. Like, usually the second after I buy it, there's a tiny piece that creeps in. And I would assume that a lot of people listening to this right now are in the creative services realm. That's what my background was in as well. But this happens in a lot of other businesses as well. We work with people for a long time, and to finally get it to the finish line, to finally land the deal. And then the second the deal is landed, many times sales is kind of kicked aside and it goes to the next team. And if things weren't properly documented and conveyed to the next team, what does the next team do first thing when they have the first meeting with that person? They start asking questions that they already answered. And that's why we got to this place, right? We already answered these questions. We decided you were a good fit. We decided you were going to solve these challenges. And the questions they start asking sound like this. Why are you asking me this again? Don't you already know the answer to that? Here's the problem. They already have a tiny amount of buyer's remorse. The second they wrote their name on the line, on the check, that already started. And then when the next group starts asking questions like that, they go, whoa, 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 whoa. What did we just do here? Do they know who we are? Do they know what we're going to be doing here? So documentation outside of the things that Aaron already discussed, right? That's where it's going to also be really important, right? The reason listening is so valuable and so powerful in sales is because another basic human emotion, and we know this because social media exists, people want to be heard. People want to feel like they're being heard. If people didn't actually want to feel like they're being heard, Facebook wouldn't exist. And I'm going to pick on Facebook because they're not working for us right now, right?
Yeah.
But Facebook wouldn't exist. But people have this desire to feel heard, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a conversation with someone and they feel like you weren't listening to a single thing I said, then the next logical thought is, well, then I must not be important to you. And if I'm not important to you, then my business isn't important to you. And if my business isn't important to you, I'm not important to you, right? And so allowing people to feel heard is the most important. And I think outside of just the business needs, take a step outside of that. Look at the human side of things. There's so many things on a human level that people want to be heard for, right? Take time in your process to allow for that as well. The business crap will come out, and the business crap will come out a lot faster if they feel like they like you and you get them and you're their person and they want to make this work. The second someone wants to make something work, I'll tell this real quick. I have a customer that I'm working a bigger deal with. This customer, I was talking to him recently. He's like, we want to increase this. How do we do this? What's the simple path to do this, right? How do we make this faster? How do we get more seats in this thing, whatever? And I was like, all right, well, I mean, let's riff on some ideas. I think we could do X, Y, and Z. And he goes, hey, whoa. I'm just going to tell you right now. Here's exactly what our CEO needs to hear from you, right? And I said, fine. Then tell him I said that. And then I got more seats, right? It was that simple. But it's because that person liked me, trusted me. I had spent a lot of time with that person. When you get to that core with somebody, that's when the business stuff is just going to come out really easy. They're just going to say, stop it. We don't need to talk about this stuff. Here's exactly what we need to hear. Here's exactly what we need it to be. And here's exactly when we need it to start. Fine, let's just do it. Done.
Yeah. And I think that's a really great point that you mentioned, and good time to sort of transition on something you brought up earlier, Aaron, and I wanted to make sure and also just, say out loud that I'm so sorry about what happened with your sister. And, it's a good reminder of, you never know who you're calling and what they're going through. Humans, just as Josh was summing up there at the end too, humans, we're dealing with all sorts of things. We're dealing with life, we're dealing with death, we're dealing with grief, and so I really appreciate you sharing your vulnerability with us on that, Aaron.
Well, yeah. And I think, just add a little bit of perspective. A lot of people tend to think that sales is hard because you get a lot of rejection. And for people that's, it hurts your feelings, right? I mean, you've talked a lot about, Josh, about like human instincts and what makes us buy and sell and things like that. But thinking that sales is hard because you hear a lot of no's, you can kind of maybe pivot and be like, well, people are human. And if someone tells me no, that's okay. I say no a lot when I'm selling to people. And I think that's why, we didn't talk about cold calls at all tonight. But when you get on a cold call, one of the things that I always do is I talk like a person. I don't use sales jargon. And if someone tells me no and they've overcome, said no to my objection handling and all those different things, I just tell them, cool, I appreciate your time, and let it go, because they're human and you don't know what they're going through. And it's not about, I was rejected today. It was, hey, I talked to another human who's not interested. And that's the end of the story. So I think having perspective, being willing to put yourself in other people's shoes, makes the sales experience more enjoyable. And sales is becoming something that, it's freeing. You can remote work and you can do a lot of different things. I'm hoping more and more people dive into sales with people like you, Jessie, with people like you, Josh, who we love doing it and we love creating positive experiences for people.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And with that, I'll switch gears a little bit because we've got the Guru of the Week. And we've got prizes. So make sure that you are entering to win those prizes because we're going to be giving them away in just a moment. I'll put up the keywords again here in just a second in case you haven't been seeing this entire episode, all the keywords. But both guests chose a Guru of the Week. And we'll do a quick drum roll. Who do you all think the Guru of the Week is? Like, put it in the comments. Like, if you had a guess, like, who do you think they would have chosen? Like, okay, so now
this is going to say a lot about us as people, is what it's going to be, right? If anybody says that I think the Guru of the Week was Grant Cardone, I quit. But anyway, keep going.
Somebody
Keep
would
going.
have. Somebody will. You know it.
I know they will.
Okay. So, Guru of the Week, we've got Dan Knowlton, and I'm just hopefully I don't pronounce this incorrectly. Rory Baker.
Yeah.
So, Josh, can you kick us off with your guru and
Yeah.
tell us why the audience should go follow and tag and spam this person right now?
Yeah. So not only should you follow Dan Knowlton, but you should follow his brother, Lloyd Knowlton. They are the funniest people on LinkedIn. They have an agency. They're across the pond. So, they're on a different time zone than us. So they'll probably see this in the morning when they wake up. But regardless, they have an agency. They're a creative services agency. They specialize in what they call edutainment is, I believe, how they say it. But just look them up. Look at these incredible videos that they make. What you will find is that there is absolutely a way to get people to watch to the tail end of the content that you're producing. It'll help inspire the things that you're producing yourself so much. But if you do go to Dan or Lloyd or Knowlton's website or page on LinkedIn, make sure to look for their video. They did a parody on LinkedIn, like LinkedIn personalities. It's probably the funniest video I've ever seen in my life. They just kind of riff on the various LinkedIn personalities, and they're basically in like a support group where they're trying to, there's a support group for LinkedIn people that like spam and sell. It's so good. I'm telling you, this will brighten your day. Just start your day with a little Knowlton videos.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you're able to find that and add that in the comments, that might be helpful, Josh. But in the meantime, Aaron, could you tell us about your guru of the week?
Yeah, so this is definitely not someone that a lot of people have come across. I met Barreiro at SaaStr in September. Virginia, I know you're in the audience. After us, we had Poseidon in a costume there at SaaStr and had a lot of fun. But these guys were in kilts, him and his entire team. And I fell in love with them, the way they do business, the way they interact. And Rory, super dedicated. When you talk about consistency, I kind of look at the way he builds content on LinkedIn, because he doesn't get a ton of engagement on that content, but he's there showing up all the time and giving really good advice. My favorite type of content is actionable content, right? Instead of just a guru who wants to just share, mic drops and things like that. No, he actually wants to teach you what he knows about. He talks about email deliverability. So definitely check him out. I'd love to have him wake up and have a bunch of new notifications, because he's a really great guy. They're doing really good work at Allegro, his company. So Rory, if you do see this, definitely made an impression on us and the team at Poseidon. So good job.
Awesome. Yes, definitely go follow these two gurus, and congratulations to them for being the guru of the week. Okay, so you got about 10 seconds to tag all of these in the comments right now. If you're on Facebook, I'm sorry, you can't be on Facebook because it's aired out. You got to be on LinkedIn, YouTube, or it will work with Twitch. So if you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitch, you can enter to win with these comments. And I'm going to go ahead and just start giving away prizes. But before I do, I wanted to give both of you the opportunity to tell listeners about the prizes that you so kindly helped share tonight. So I'm going to put them up on the screen here. I'm going to pull myself down just because it'll get a little cluttered. So if you both just like talk and tell us a little bit about your prizes here. Let's see. I'll pull them up. They are right there.
There we go. There we go. You go first.
Awesome. So we're giving two things away. 1-year subscription to Poseidon. Poseidon, with the theme of today, we really marry outbound and how you can leverage it to get inbound. We have a platform that makes LinkedIn outbound really easy. A lot of people are not going to like this, but we actually love sending in-mails because it's an easy way to stand out. People send terrible in-mails every single day. If you send a good one, people will respond. We've had tons of meetings booked from one in-mail only. So we're a great outbound tool that leverages LinkedIn really well. And then we have a lot of content aligned things so you can have inbound through your funnel on your profile. And like I said, we're platform plus team. We onboard you, we invest in you. We want to make sure that you have great experience, because you will never get ROI from a tool if you don't adopt it. And the shoes, I mean, come on, who doesn't want custom Nikes? They look great, they stand out. There's the only customization that represents who we are at Poseidon is it says social sells on the lip, because we believe social sells.
Those are awesome. I mean, I want some Nikes, but Josh, can you tell us
Kinda.
about your prize as well?
Can I just like trade the winner of those Nikes and for whatever? No. No, this has been great. Thank you so much for having me on, number one. My name is Josh Fedie again. I'm the CEO and founder of Sales Reach. It is a digital sales room. So go ahead and Google what that is. Google buyer enablement. But also, I'm going to put a link right into the chat here that, oh, it's not working for some reason. Maybe they're blocking links in the chat room. I don't know. Just scan this code right here. If you scan this code, it'll take you to a web page where you will learn a little bit more about what we do. But essentially, the reason you would want a digital sales room in your sales process is, have you ever been in a 6 to 12 to 24 month deal cycle where your customers are finally ready, or your prospects are finally ready to bring your information to the review team, and they start sending you the frantic emails saying, hey, I can't find this. I can't find this. Can you resend this? Can you resend this? The reason they're doing that is because you have a disorganized sales process. That's where digital sales rooms win. You can organize literally everything that you share with somebody into our platform, and video is included in our platform as well. And not only can you record video, you can edit the videos. You can write scripts and read a teleprompter off the pages when you're making the pages. There's a ton of functionality on the page, but literally you are keeping your prospects and customers in one place that you can update throughout the entire sales cycle, where they can always find the important information that they need from you and share with internal decision-making teams. Cleans up a clunky sales process. So that's what we're giving away a whole year on our top tier platform. You can make as many videos as you want on it. You can build as many pages as you want on it. You can host as many materials and resources in it as you want. You can go crazy with it. I hope you make a ton of money. I had a customer once in their first 30-day trial landed a $5 million deal before they even paid for my platform. Why? Because people don't want to take the extra step and be more deliberate to help their customers. But if we start doing it, we stand out and we win. So I'm really excited to bring on whoever wins this one, Jessie. Let's give this to somebody that really deserves it and has some really big deals they need to win.
Well, thank you both so much for helping to provide these prizes and share with some awesome people in the audience. So I'm going to put the keywords up one last time, and let me fix the video so I'm not cutting anyone off here. But, just a quick reminder. So the whole purpose of the gifts, is to give. I really do truly believe the more you give, the more you're creating the energy to receive. So I hope that you all will comment to win so you can get into that receiving energy, because you're all so worthy of achieving your goals, finding the job of your dreams, closing the deal that you have, the top one. You're going to close that this year. Like, you are worthy. So get ready to receive, enter to win these prizes. I am grateful to be able to help give these away. Again, thank you, Josh. And thank you, Aaron, for helping to bring these amazing prizes on for some lucky winners. Let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so we don't waste any more time here. And we're going to give away some prizes. And it looks like they're going to be a little bit out of order, but let me try to do them in order of prize one. HighLevel, we've got 5 entries for the swag pack. Is it going to be Christopher, Nate, AP, Renee? AP, you won the swag pack. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you, AP. AP is actually using HighLevel. He is in the Taking Up Space program. AP, if you're still here and you could plug in, maybe some of your thoughts about the program, that would be awesome. If you haven't already, maybe you already have been talking about it. I'm going to give away prize 2. That's 10 hours of Cherry Assistant, virtual assistant service. Is it going to Lydia? Is it going to AP? Is it going to Sarah? Who's going to get it? Who? AP. I think you've maybe won this one again. And just in case you've won that one in the past, I'm going to go ahead and see who the next runner-up might be. Lydia, congratulations, Queen. You deserve 10 hours free virtual assistant service, especially because Lydia was the one, I'm pretty sure, who helped introduce me to both of you and get both of you on the show.
Thank you, Lydia.
She definitely deserved a prize. Let's give away headset from Headset Advisor. This is the wireless headset. Holy 10 entries. Everybody wants a wireless headset. They want the Neep, Neep, Neep. I always say the Neep reminds me of the Roadrunner, but that's just me. There's Lydia. There's Christopher Hardy. He is like the cold calling guy. Actually, Christopher is going to start helping me with some cold calls. He just called me tonight and made an offer. So, Christopher, you have a headset now. We're going to make some revenue calls. So excited about that. Let's go. And we're going to give away open draft. And I promise I have no control over who wins these. Lydia, Christopher, AP, Nate, AP, Nate, congratulations. You are the winner of Open Draft. You're going to get 10 free blogs with an awesome blog AI tool. And it really is SEO optimized. So I definitely think you're going to enjoy using it, especially if you know what your audience is searching. But let's give away the Taking Up Space program. This is the 5-day LinkedIn challenge. It's going to either Christopher Hardy or AP, but AP, you're already in it. I think he was. So Christopher, I am so glad that you joined. Congratulations. You won the 5-day program. Okay, you guys, you know I got to save the B2B for the last. Let's see. We did get 2 entries for lavender. Lavender, you must be someone who doesn't have lavender. So we've got Sarah or AP. And the winner is AP, but the next runner up would be Sarah if he does happen to have it. Because you have to be a non-lavender user to be eligible to win that one. And all right, now I know no one has won these 2 prizes that we're about to give away. So let's pull it up. Hashtag B2B. We've got 7 entries. Here we go.
Oh,
is it holy names? AP, Nate, Christopher, Jason, Topher, Jason, Carrie, Lydia.
Lydia, there you go.
This is for you, Queen. Congratulations. You are the winner.
Excited to get you set up, Lydia.
Prizes. Yes, I'm very excited. Thank you, everyone, for entering to win. Thank you, guests, for coming on. Before we leave really quick, could you both tell our audience how they could reach you if they wanted to connect with you after the show? Let's start with you, Aaron.
Yeah, I had an amazing time. Jesse, you did a great job. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in the whole hour. You can find me on LinkedIn, obviously, Aaron Barreiro. Definitely hard to say, but I'm there all the time. And then you can find us at Poseidon. Use Poseidon.com. We'd be super happy to get you guys on using LinkedIn to get more deals done. Poseidon is EIDON. A lot of people type in IE, so use Poseidon.com. Thank you.
Aaron Barreiro. No, I can't do it, but I can roll an R. Okay, Josh, how about you? How can
It's worse when you try. This is like my daughter says all the time. It's worse if you try, Dad. Just don't try, right?
Just don't try.
Just
My
don't-
husband's Polish, and you roll
don't
R
do
in
it.
Polish too, so I do try all the time, but I'm not good at it.
Before we go any further, though, and waste any more time and I get kicked off of here, I need to just mention that I'm on Twitch right now. My kids are probably freaking out. Their dad is on Twitch. They're playing video games right now. Their dad is on Twitch. Anyway, no, this was absolutely incredible being on this. And just for a point of clarification, it was someone named Emma Lowe that made the introduction between me and you, Jesse.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
I had just met her. She was incredible. And then she was like, you need to be on this show. I was like, all right, great. That's who got me on. But I'm also very, very excited about the winner and to meet the winner and to get the winner trained in. But if you want to connect with me, I'm not hard to find. Go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the best way to find me. Send me a message. Please mention that you saw me on this show in the message, because I might be one of those people that ignores messages or connection requests without messages in them. I might be one of those people. So just say that you saw me on this show, and I'll be super friendly if you saw me on this show and that's why you want to connect with me. And that page that I shared, if you just want to reach out and grab some time on my calendar, there's a link right on that page to my calendar. Grab time with me, as long as your intention is to potentially buy from me because you see some value in it. Don't just grab time with me just to chat with me. But regardless, no, this was super fun being on this show. I need to figure out the lighting situation in my office if I'm going to do more of these late night shows, though, because I feel like this is a little off, but Anyway,
Oh,
a lot of fun. And Aaron, it was so awesome meeting you. I learned that before we did the show, Aaron and I were going back and forth on LinkedIn. He's the wrong kind of whiskey drinker. I want everyone to know that. He's the wrong kind of whiskey drinker. He likes that American schwill. I don't know why. I don't drink that stuff. We stick with Scotch whiskey at Sales Reach. We call it sales juice, right? This is sales juice. Okay. So anyway, there we go.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of bourbon drinkers out there. So I don't know. We'll put in a poll. We didn't ask a lot of questions, CL, but put in a poll. American whiskey or whatever other whiskeys out there.
Scottish is the only kind. Yeah.
Well, since we're still here, I did get a note that AP won HighLevel last week. So I'm going to do a quick redraw on prize one really quick. So the person taking home the swag pack after AP, he's already got one on the way, will be Sarah Rodriguez. Congratulations, Sarah Rodriguez. Thank you, Renee, for catching that. So I was able to do a redraw really quick. But yeah, that is a show. We've got people talking about bourbon in the comments. So I really appreciate everybody coming.
Nick is talking about Scotch. I want to clarify. It's 50-50 right now. There is no decided winner here.
It's true. I would love to know in the comments, are you bourbon or a Scotch drinker?
I'll stay here all night to settle this one.
I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking in May, and that's why part of the reason I took whiskey out of the name, but also I'd heard from some guests they didn't want to come on and associate with something whiskey, and same with sponsors, like larger sponsors are not interested in that.
I understand.
Yeah, but anyway, thank you again so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing how people can reach out to you. And until next week, when we're going to be bringing on Rohan from Nooks, as well as Jen Lederer, an award-winning comedian, you're not going to want to miss next week's episode. But thank you again so much, Josh and Aaron.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.